Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Triple R Ryan's Real Reactions, and today this is a tough one. This is about Athena Strand. This is kind of rolling out in real time over the last couple days. If you need a quick refresher, Athena Strand was a 7-year-old girl who was abducted outside of her home by a FedEx delivery driver who delivered a package named Tanner Horner. There's nothing going to be shown in this video that's going to be triggering, so don't worry, but it's some pretty rough stuff here. This is from the WFAA YouTube channel. Jury watches video of Athena Strand's abduction and killing. They're just going to be talking about it. I'll read the quick synopsis here. Jurors in the trial of Tanner Horner are now being shown hours of footage and audio evidence related to the abduction and killing of 7-year-old Athena Strand. There was a camera recording, as it has to in the FedEx trucks, the entire time. This dude is an absolute monster, and we'll find out together. Due to the graphic nature of the material, the judge ordered the courtroom video feed be cut while the jury reviews the 2.5 hours of footage. You know how bad something has to be for it not to be shown? There's some nasty stuff that gets shown on trial. So a couple of the people that are going to be in this video were there in the courtroom. Horner has pleaded guilty to capital murder. The jury will decide whether he is sentenced to life in prison or the death penalty. So yeah, let's see what they have to say about this absolute monster.
Rebecca, you know, I'm gonna toss it on over to you, and I'm gonna let you guys talk about what you saw and heard.
Well, Tanya, that
this is obviously the first time I'm watching any of this. I saw like a 2-minute clip of him cleaning the back of the van, and then he calls his wife and says he got sick and he had to clean the van. He also drives right past the area of where everything went down, and the woman tells him, "Oh, there was a kidnapping here," and he's like, "Oh, what?" So to me, this is obviously premeditated and just an absolute sick freak, to say the least. They also showed his where he lived. Let me see if I can quickly find this real quick. Let's see if I can find an image of it. Yeah, here we go. Just trying to get this all, get you guys some background. Look at this. This is where he lived. Not to shame someone's place, but when they're accused of this, and this is where, this is what it looks like outside their place. Not a great sign here, to say the least.
by far is probably one of the most emotional and heart-wrenching things I've ever heard in a courtroom. The family did leave. The mom and father and some of the family members left and did not listen to it. And then the judge also asked the gallery.
I would also not be able to. Basically, the video that they had to cut was him ending her life, a 7-year-old's life, in the back of his FedEx truck. So that would make me legitimately physically sick.
If anybody cannot make it through the next, through this entire video, then you may want to go ahead and leave right now, because he warned everyone. And it is, you basically hear Tanner Horner torturing this little girl. We still have 30 more minutes of this video before they broke for lunch, and the judge told us there's still another 30 more minutes of graphic video, but you see them first walk up to the vehicle. She's following him into the van, and then he lifts her up and puts her in the van, and she's saying, where are we going? And Terry, I'm gonna let you also kind of talk to what you saw. Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Any lip readers?
Wrong with her audio? No.
Hear her now? Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, Tanya?
Yeah.
It's not funny, but like, can you imagine this whole, there's no way it's the whole video.
Shut the door.
There we go.
She walked to the van with him. He put her in. He shut the door. She asked him, where are we going? What are you doing? Are you a kidnapper?
Oh,
It was almost like a conversation for a while, wasn't it, Rebecca?
Yeah, and he's just chit-chatting with her, asking her, where do you go to school? How old are you? And at one point he tells her, she says, why are you doing this? And he says, because you're pretty.
oh my gosh. See, I didn't really know any of this stuff. I tried not to go into too much detail when I was looking some things up because I wanted to, kind of watch this for the first time. But so now you know that it's also probably sexually driven, which is usually the case for stuff like this, and that just makes it, you know, obviously as bad as it can be. That's just disgusting. 7 years old.
And he says, you know that, don't you? And then they drive around for a while. She keeps saying, where are you going? And then he stops the vehicle, and that's when he gets very graphic. Tanya, at one point, he tells her to take off her shirt. And she says, why? And he says, he doesn't really answer that. You can't really hear what he says. But then she says, my mom says somebody shouldn't be doing this to me, and you shouldn't be doing this to me.
That's horrible. That's so sad, man. You gotta, my every ounce of my prayers and thoughts are with that family. I truly can't imagine something like this happening, and then also being video evidence. Yes, does the video evidence make it easier for someone to get convicted? Oh, absolutely. And that's a good thing, right? But then this is the bad part of it, is it's so much evidence that this is going to haunt them forever. And I hope they never watch it. I hope they never have to see it. But just seeing your daughter's last moments with some stranger and her saying, my mommy said that someone shouldn't be doing this, because she was clearly raised well and probably told, hey, be careful of people, because of guys like this, because of guys like Tanner. That's just heartbreaking stuff.
Right, yeah. My mom said, I can't do this to other people, and you can't do it to me either. So, what I think is interesting is that the state spent a lot of time yesterday proving up that DNA evidence, or trying to bring that in. And I think it's going to be very clear that there was some very sexual, deviant things.
He wouldn't have told her to take her shirt off if that was the case.
Going on. Of course, by this point, we can't see, we can only hear what is going on. But she asks him several times, what are you doing? The poor child says, ouch, 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 multiple times. Asks him again, what are you doing? The point being is that we still have 30 minutes left of this audio, and this is about an hour's worth of torture that he has put her through. It's shocking because it gets quiet.
And what's interesting is he's got to know that there's a camera. He's obviously got to know there's obviously a camera recording that records everything in those delivery trucks. So, like, what in the world? Obviously, what's going through his mind, you'll never know. But, like, he's doing it in his work truck with a camera running. It's almost like, it's just baffling.
And then we all assume, because you can hear the struggle, and we all assume, yes, and we can all assume that she's passed. And then all of a sudden we'll hear her gasp, and we'll hear her cry, and we'll hear her moan, and then it'll get quiet.
And then he'll pull over. Like he at one point he does take off, and then he hears her, so he pulls over, and then Tanya, you hear stomping or slamming, like he's trying to hurt her more, and then he takes off. And then the most eerie thing is, at one point, Jingle Bell Rock comes on, because remember, this is around Christmas, and she is crying. She is, you can hear her crying, and he's just singing. He starts singing Jingle Bell Rock.
What in the world? What is going on? This is stuff that you would see in a horror film. I mean, like, genuinely, this is like a horror scene. Singing Jingle Bell Rock. Well, that song is going to be ruined for me a bit here, because what in the world? Like, imagine singing such a happy, jolly song after you're ending the life of a 7-year-old. Also, let me, I think there's a picture of, this is the kind of which I'm sure most of you have seen, but start doing this more in videos, kind of pausing some things, give you some more context if they don't show it. But this is her, and this is him, and that's what she's doing, just in the back, just kind of like innocently being like, "What's going on?" Like, that's why they're saying like, "Where are we going? What are you doing?" I can't imagine the confusion that she had and the absolute fear that was going on. But also, you know, she's a child, so it's like there's this sense of she probably maybe for a bit thought like, well, maybe this guy's going to take me somewhere and everything's going to be okay. But just an absolute disgusting, horrible human being. Here he is right here. I guess he was putting his head down a lot of the times. Not crying, though, obviously. You know, just wanted to give you some context of what they look like.
And then she's crying, goes, "Shut up." He tells her multiple times, "Shut up. If you don't shut up, I'm going to come back there and hurt you more.
Yeah.
You need to
Imagine telling a 7-year-old to shut up.
shut up." I mean, he tells her to shut up several times.
What's eerie is that he turns on his flashers, and you know it's a FedEx truck. How many times have we driven by FedEx trucks, right, in our own neighborhoods? Well, he's turned on his flashers, and you can hear traffic pass by them. And I'm thinking those drivers had no idea.
Yeah, it makes you think. Like, stuff like this is happening right in front of you. People were passing by. Why would you think anything's going on, right? If you would just think that's a FedEx driver. This stuff ruins everything. It's like before, like, I don't know if you guys remember. Well, I know you remember. I don't know if it affects you like it affects me. Every time I go to the movies now, I'm a little bit on edge. I'm looking at exits because of the Aurora shooting. Like, you can't do anything, go anywhere, look at anything without something being bad now. So now it's like, now you see a FedEx truck or an Amazon truck and you think, is someone in there that shouldn't be? You know, and it's just terrible.
What horror was going on in that van? It's unlike any, and the jury, they're not only crying, they are sobbing. Some of them are sobbing.
And they're glaring at him, and he's sitting there. At one point, he's just like this, holding his hands to his face, and he's
won't even face the music,
looking down. I mean, I don't know, Terry. I don't know how the defense gets past this. I mean, those jurors.
How can you even represent someone like this? I know it's a civil duty and a law, and innocent until proven guilty, but everyone should just get up on that defense team and walk out and say, "Yeah, good luck. I don't want your money. I don't want the blood money here."
Very emotional.
Well, I think the part of the mitigating evidence that the defense is going to try to bring in, I don't know how it can negate the decisions that this man clearly made.
Yeah, they're probably going to claim insanity or mental illness or, you know, bipolar. They're going to claim something.
Because at first, you know, it was questionable whether or not he had hurt her, so he put her in the van and, you know, didn't know what to do, and he was confused and he made bad decisions.
Yeah, I believe I believe the original story that they initially got and thought until they saw the video evidence was that he hit her with his car and then panicked, put him in her car, and then she passed away and he like did something with her body. Like that was I'm pretty positive that was the initial like story that they were getting.
It's very
which obviously is now completely not true.
Calculated, and he definitely used this child for some kind of sexual gratification.
Yes, he did,
and
you can hear that. You can hear it. You can hear it on the audio.
Yes, even though there wasn't an accusation.
That makes my blood boil to insane heights right now, just thinking about what that poor girl went through, and it makes me, you know. In the
indictment, it is clear that there was something sexual going on. Plus, we also know that there was DNA found on her body.
Wow.
And so I think that it's going to be very difficult for any defense expert to come in with mitigating evidence, whether it's because he grew up with a lot of trauma, he had...
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what they come up with. He should be getting the death penalty, and they should create a new death penalty for this kind of action, where they let the family go into a room and just do whatever the hell they want to him until they're finished and until he's gone. That's it. Create a new one. Because sometimes I feel like, I don't know about you guys, I don't feel like the death penalty is enough. kind of like the easy way out sometimes. You know? These people need to suffer, and not just suffer in jail. I'm talking suffer. Not quick and painless, not quick and easy. Slow and agonizing is what someone like this deserves. And look, this guy will get his. He will be in hell for eternity, right? But that's still not enough.
He was in fetal alcohol syndrome, or whatever the case may be, because his mother drank when he was in the womb. Whether he has autism, whether he has multiple personality disorder, which they now call really something completely different.
And here's the thing: if you're going to blame autism, you're going to blame these things. Well, guess what? He was a functioning adult. He had a job. He had a driver's license. He passed a job interview working for FedEx. If he can do all those things, then he is clearly able-brained enough to know that what he did was wrong. So that's once again, whenever they claim this stuff, it makes people that have autism seem crazy, and they're not. People on the spectrum would never do something like this.
Or whether he's a sociopath or a psychopath. I don't think that a defense expert can change the way this trial is going to go. And that is coming from just watching this jury.
Yeah.
And hearing for ourselves what he put her through.
Wow.
It's so haunting, Tanya, because when he's walking her to the van, I can't hear what they're talking. And by the way, he does drop off the Barbies first.
Oh my God, I forgot that. I did see that. He was... Just need to take a pause. He was dropping, it was around Christmas time. I think it was the week before Christmas or something around there. He was dropping off a Barbie set that they got for their daughter for Christmas. That's what he was there to do. Drop off a Christmas present for her. You know, without obviously knowing what it was probably. And that's what he was there for. And that just, I don't know, there's something about that just... It's just absolutely heartbreaking.
And then he drops off the package, and then you see him. And when he first pulls over, you see him kind of looking around, almost like he does scope her out. Like he sees
absolutely.
her. You can't really see her.
I guarantee you he probably premeditated this. I bet you that he's been to that house before. He probably had maybe seen her multiple times, was getting some weird fantasies in his head. And you know what? With as calm as he is in the video, after what he did, like I said, he calls his girlfriend or wife and is like seemingly calm and singing the songs. I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't do something to somebody else before. I wouldn't be shocked if he might have done this to more girls that we'll never know of or that they don't know about. We have no idea, right? And he wasn't going to admit anything until he got caught. It's not like he went to the police and said, I made a mistake. He was going to continue to live his life.
Her at that point, but then you see her following him, and then him hoisting her up into that truck, and then into the van, and then she's asking, where are we going? Like she's going, initially she's just wondering, like, where are we going?
Right.
And like, no big deal at first, but then she realizes at some point that something's wrong.
Well, and you want to talk about calculated and premeditated. There are two cameras on this FedEx van. There is a dash cam, which is very similar to a police dash cam, where it projects out in front of the van. He covered that up immediately. That we never saw any video from that once he got to Athena's house. Then after he brought her into the van, brought her into that area, we've seen the picture of her standing there while he's driving. At that point, shortly thereafter, he covers that camera.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good information. Wow. So that's why they can only get audio. So he was clearly aware of the cameras, but not enough in the beginning. So yeah, he knew what he was doing. I mean, that's just that makes a lot of sense, because I was wondering, like, are they not showing the video?
And you know what's interesting is, Rebecca, you remember he walked around that van and he looked into the passenger side window like he was scoping out the cameras. So it's totally premeditated. It's totally premeditated. This is not some person who freaked out and made bad decisions.
Yeah,
To me,
and that's what they're going to cut. They're going to try to claim that BS too. It's exactly what they're going to claim. Oh, he panicked and he's crazy and he didn't know what he was doing. Whatever.
it looks very premeditated.
And we certainly don't see some alter ego come out while he is doing this to Athena.
Right.
It is very deliberate, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Well, he's tortured her. He tortured her. And,
I believe they say he choked her. Or I believe I saw something where it said he tried to break her neck and then couldn't and didn't, and then he choked her.
They claim in the indictment that she could have died by suffocation, strangulation, or blunt force trauma to the head, stomping. We heard it. And she's still alive. She's still alive.
She's still alive. And we again, the judge said
That girl was fighting till the end, man. He tried everything and he still couldn't get her down, man. That girl was a fighter.
there's still 30 more minutes, so we know from the opening statements that the prosecutor says you hear him over and over and over and over again attempting to kill her and choke her and take her life, and that's what we are hearing, because just as we think, she's passed away, you hear her gasping and crying and screaming, moaning, and it is awful.
So you almost hope that something like that just happens fast and gets over with versus it being long and drawn out like that, because she was fighting, but then it also means that she was suffering and scared, and that, like, obviously really sucks.
And the defendant's face is this far from the defense table. I mean, he is leaning over with his face just inches away from that table. Because, and you know what I thought? This is just my impression, is that the audio is playing. There's no video, but it's video in his head.
Oh, yeah.
He is seeing all of that in his head. But again, a person, he is totally competent. There's no issue about competency. This man knows exactly what is going on, and he's not just out of it. He knows what's happening. He knows what he did. He's singing Jingle Bell Rock with a child screaming in the back of the van.
I mean, that's just, that part of it to me is just like, I can't wrap my head around that.
It was the word, because the whole thing is terrible.
It's almost like, he was excited to do it. This was like him living a fantasy.
The Jingle Bell Rock comes on, and she's screaming the entire time, and then he starts singing over her screaming, and then keeps telling her, shut up, while Jingle Bell Rock is playing.
It sucks that nobody heard her screaming, man. It's a shame that, someone didn't just hear something and follow, or easier said than done and probably difficult. I'm just saying it's just because I guess she didn't really scream or freak out when he put her in the van because she didn't know what was going on. Maybe just thought like, oh, this is the delivery guy and he's gonna give me something, And that's where a kid's innocence and naivety can put them in a dangerous situation like this.
Meaning like nothing's happened. It is the most awful thing I've ever heard in a courtroom.
And I have to say, just as we're watching different actors in the courtroom, we clearly saw the emotions from the jury, and they're taking notes as well. Some of them are taking notes.
Yeah, my note would be death, and then I'd put an arrow, and it would point right to him, and then that would just be like, yeah, do you want my decision already, or do I need to wait? But
there was emotion from both sides of the table. The prosecutors were emotional. The defense attorneys were emotional. This is not easy for either side. And I know that I'm thinking that Tanner has, according to testimony, attempted suicide several times in his life. And I'm as Rebecca said, it makes you wonder, this is in the courtroom, it makes you wonder if the defense wouldn't just rest after this because it's just so bad. However, those defense attorneys have a job that they have to do, and I admire them. It's hard. They're going to do their job, but I would not be surprised if he didn't say, I'm done. I mean, if he's truly someone who is remorseful or regrets what he did, and he, you know, he's already been suicidal in the past, it makes me wonder if he would tell his lawyers, I'm done. But I know that they will continue with their case and bringing their experts because that is what they're required to do. But it's not easy on
I know it's required by law, and I get it. It's just, man, they got a tough job right now.
them.
Can't even imagine looking him in the eyes and, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys.
All right, man. What do you even say to that? Let me know what you guys think and any info you have and what you think. Like I said, I think they should let the entire family come in and just strangle them one by one. I don't know. It's just cases like this and things like this. It's like you see on a show and you see in a movie and you go, wow, that's crazy. And you're like, yeah, but it's a movie, it's a show. But then when you see things like this happen in real life, once again, it makes my skin crawl that there are people like that living among us, working a normal job, driving around, delivering us our packages with motives in their brain that are the most evil that you can think of, even in the worst movie plot imaginable. So my thoughts and prayers are with Athena's family, and I can't imagine what they're going through right now, and I don't know, man. It's just it's a tough situation, and I feel for everybody in that courtroom that has to be there and see that and listen to that as well, because that's some heavy stuff, you know. This stuff is no joke. But okay, well, hey, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing all right. Make sure you're drinking your water, staying hydrated. Make sure to like the video if you don't mind before you leave. Leave some comments. Any hype points that you may have, you want to use them, that would be awesome. And subscribe to the channel, please, where we're trying to pass Gypsy Rose Blanchard in subscribers. And every subscription will help us get there. That is it for me. Tuesday's video is the 1-year anniversary of this channel. There's going to be a really big announcement at the end of that video, so make sure to tune in on Tuesday. If you're someone that like watches certain videos and not others, just please come on Tuesday and check out that video. It'll be a big deal, and I'm excited about it. As always, shout out to the Triple Army for always reporting for duty, where I post to every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And just, man, keep thinking of that poor girl, man. This is a tough one. As always, please don't bother me while I'm watching true crime. Peace.